Let's go with Ellaeenah. I'm really looking forward to your talk. The last time you spoke to us was about, I think, 2 months back. Lot has happened since then. I was hearing someone today saying that this government is still discussing COVID-19 when they should be discussing how millions of people have lost their jobs, how millions cannot cope up.
Yeah.
And I hear stories every day, which I worry at times that I might go into depression because I'm hearing screams from people's houses and sadness, and I'm hearing uh, stuff like "मेरे घर से निकल जाओ" and "मैं तुम्हें मार दूंगा," and
Yeah.
stuff that really puts you in a place that of saying that there are people screaming out for help, but you can't reach them. And I often tell myself this, that it's not my job. I can only reach till where I'm supposed to reach. After that, I'm not supposed to reach there. And that's perfectly all right. I understand that cognitively.
Yeah.
Yet there seems to be some kind of sadness that seems to be surrounding me, and I seem to be sometimes unable to shake that. And this is for all of you guys. Tomorrow is Ganesha. I'm just hoping, and I know that we will all bring celebrations to our house. But as we are celebrating, there's so many people who can't afford bread. They can't afford the next day's studies. They don't know whether their children will have everything that their parents promised them that they would have. And parents did their best and children did their best, but it wasn't the best enough in this life.
Yeah.
And for that note, it just felt right to give you a call and say, can you please come back? Because a lot of people need that hope, that abundance. And right now, I'm not even thinking that they need abundance. They need stability, security, love, holding, strength, connection, and just a heart, just a person who they can relate to, and they just look at that person and don't think that that person is just talking about themselves. And I feel that ever since I've known you, we've stood and crossed each other's path, but I don't find too many people around who have heart as big as yours.
Thank you.
And I don't find many people like you who can talk from connection and not talk from a place of really holding people, not just making money, but really holding them. So
Thank you.
over
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. Thank you, Anu. Thank you for those heartening words. Thank you. Every day, I try to be a little better than I was yesterday. Every single day.
I would say this, even if you didn't become better than you were yesterday and stayed even like you were yesterday, it would do right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, so, good evening, everyone. And thank you all for being here. And of course, a huge thank you to Anu for thinking of me again. And I love being here um, on the eve of the celebrations of Ganesha, because I always call him my beloved Ganesha. And so I thought this was the best subject to talk of, because for me, Ganesha stands for everything that is abundant. And yes, I know a lot of people consider Ganesha as the eliminator and eradicator of wrongs and evils. But even in that role, it's because he is the source of abundance. And what he does is merely removes the hurdles to that abundance. And that's what he does as eliminator. And so today I'd like to do exactly this and to ask Ganesha to be with me as I speak of these hurdles. But before we go into the hurdles, it's important to first know the difference between abundance and prosperity, wealth, etc. Because they are not the same thing. Most people, when they talk of abundance, instantly their mind goes to money and to, a house and a property and all of that. That is a minute part of abundance. And in fact, that is the byproduct of abundance. It's not even the main product. So what is abundance? So abundance is a condition, a mindset, a lifestyle, a life choice that brings a return value to mind, body, heart, spirit. And this value comes with immeasurable dividend. Prosperity is a state of being where the return value is only towards the wallet, not even towards your physical body. So we are not going to have such a limited view of what we desire in life. What we desire in life is something huge, and we need to dream big so that what we receive is big. And so let us dream and desire abundance. Abundance that comes to us, bringing everything to us, to our mind, to our bodies, to our hearts, to our souls, to our spirits. It enriches every aspect of who we are. In order to draw that state into our lives, we have to be aware of the hurdles in our path. So we all pray to Ganesha to bring abundance to us. And what Ganesha actually does is he begins to bring us this abundance of mind, body, spirit, and heart by first eliminating the hurdles that we put in our way. Now, if we could clear those hurdles ourselves, Ganesha doesn't need to do it for us. And so Ganesha can do what actually Ganesha is truly and cosmically meant to do. He can go straight to the source of abundance and bring that into our lives because we have already taken care of the hurdles ourselves. And so he brings us abundance of health and abundance of happiness and abundance of love and success and career fulfillment. And yes, with all that abundant comes that byproduct. And yes, I agree. If even though it's a byproduct, it is significant in our physical earthly lives. And that is the money and all that we enjoy with that money. So let's understand these hurdles so that we can really start eliminating them. And may I request you to do one thing. I have listed them out as 9 hurdles. If you could, every single day of the Ganesha celebration, if you could take care of 1 hurdle per day, by the time my beloved Ganesha returns through his watery home back into the cosmos, you shall have cleared 9 hurdles, and Ganesha shall go in a celebration of abundance that comes into your home once he has left. Because when he goes back to his cosmic home, Ganesha will say, hey, here are my earthly friends who have cleared their hurdles, made it so much easier for me to do, and all that prasad and the fruits and the laddus and the modaks they've given me, I shall return to them as health and happiness and success and career and love, because they've made it easy for me now. I don't have to clear the hurdles, they've done it themselves. So come on, friends, let's take up that self-responsibility. So day one, okay, the first day and the first hurdle that you will take care of. And in order to introduce this hurdle, I am going to quote Abraham Hicks. I know all of us have heard and read Abraham Hicks. What an inspiring presence. In order for things to change, you have to see them as what you want, rather than continuing to observe them as they are. Here, Abraham Hicks brings in our first hurdle for first day: lack of perspective. So when we are caught, let us say, if I am sick, if I am down with a fever or a cold or a cough or a diarrhea or food poisoning or whatever it is, what happens as soon as we fall ill? Our entire focus goes to that illness, right? So our perspective is, I am sick. Instead of that, Abraham Hicks says, do not continue to observe them as they are. Begin to perceive them as what you want them to be. So, okay, here I am puking my guts out and running to the loo. What I want is, what I desire is, I don't like the word want, because that for me spells scarcity. What I desire is the fullness of health. Now, this might seem to you as extremely difficult, but even as you are bending over that basin and puking, in your mind space, in your heart space, in your spirit space, you are focusing on good health. Because that one aspect of not so good health has not made you sick. Let us try to look at things in a more factual manner. Yes, there is one aspect of you or your health that may not be perfect, but the rest of you is. So focus on that. So when you are, let's say, purging, instead of focusing on the fact that you're feeling nauseous or you have a stomach ache, focus on, I don't have a headache. Right? I'm still feeling fine enough to get up and, come out of my bedroom and sit in the living room. I don't have a cold or a cough. My lungs are working well. My heart is working well. My brain is working well. Can you see how much of you is working well, even though there is a bit of an upset in your digestive system? So when you shift your focus to how you want things to be, rather than continuing to focus on how they are, then you remove this one hurdle of lack of perspective. So on day one, you and I are going to be very aware of this, which means day one is tomorrow. We are going to be very aware of our perspective throughout the day. What are you focusing upon? Is your perspective coming from scarcity? Is your perspective based in lack? Is your perspective, does your perspective have a foundation in deficit, in want, in scarcity? Because if that is what your perspective is, then you shall get it. And Ganesha will not be able to give you the abundance that you seek, because first he will have to work on removing this hurdle which you have placed in your path, and that is the hurdle of perspective. So let's take another perspective. Let's assume, yes, we are all undergoing the lockdown. Yes, some people have lost their jobs. Some are on half salaries. Let's look at it this way. Your perspective now might be on there is less money coming in. Now that's a huge one. And I completely understand that you're perturbed. I understand that you might be exceedingly worried and concerned about this. But even in spite of this, let's shift the perspective. Shift your perspective to, yes, this is a time when less money is coming in, but I am blessed that I still have a home and a shelter. Yes, this is a time when less money is coming in, but I am blessed that I am living with my family in perfect unity and harmony. Yes, this is a time when less money is coming in, but I am blessed that every day there are 3 square meals that I am enjoying. So you see, in every situation, friends, you can change your perspective if you make that firm, resolute, determined effort. So that is our joyous task for day 1, eliminating and clearing this hurdle of lack of perspective. What will we do on day 2? We will clear a very, very, very big hurdle. For any human being, the most difficult thing is change. When we encounter change, somehow we get flummoxed, we get agitated, we get disturbed. It's because we are not in control of that change. When you are in control of change, then you are not disturbed and perturbed by change. So this is exactly what we need to understand. When you wish to draw in a situation, a condition that you are not at present enjoying, you have to create a change here first. And for that, I'm going to quote Thomas Jefferson, who said, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. What a profound statement Jefferson made years and years and years ago. If at present you believe that your happiness quotient is very, very low, and you would like to experience a happiness quotient that is high up there, then you cannot remain in the same space that you are. You have to change that inner space. In order to rise up, in order to elevate the happiness quotient, you have to elevate yourself. And how would you do that? By being open to change. On day 2, make a list, not a very long list, although I'm sure if we all tried, we could make a very, very long list, but I don't want you to make a long list. I want you to make a list of just 5 points. The 5 most important things about you that you know need to be changed so that you can be healthier than you are, happier than you are, more successful than you are, more prosperous than you are. You've got to take the self responsibility of recognizing and acknowledging these 5 salient points. Do this very early in the morning on day 2, throughout the day, even as you are chanting the Ganesha mantras. Let your focus be upon these 5 points, and let yourself pray and promise Lord Ganesha, I am ready, willing, and able to completely change in the here and in the now. Once you have made this commitment to Lord Ganesha, then there is nothing stopping you. Because I know you. Once you make that commitment to Lord Ganesha, you will ensure that you carry out that commitment. So wake up bright and early on the second day and make that list of 5 salient points. And through the day, endeavor to make changes in those 5 points. Every time you find yourself slipping up, pull yourself back by reminding yourself that you have promised Ganesha to change, that you are not going to be a hurdle in your path. You are going to be willing to change. Will this change stop with the midnight of day 2? Well, if it does, then you are not going to be able to draw in the abundance that you seek. This commitment that you make to change and to not be deterred by change, not to be scared by change, not to be disturbed by change, this commitment has to be a lifelong commitment. It might seem difficult on day 1, on day 2, on week 1, on week 2, on in the first month, in the second month. But when this becomes your habit, you will be happy to find that you have become an adaptable, flexible person who is willing to change from the inside out. You are not demanding changes of others. You are demanding changes of yourself, and you are willing to make those changes. Remember, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. So be daring. Do not fear change. Let's go to day 3 and clear this hurdle, the hurdle of lack of knowledge. This is something I'd like you to listen to very, very carefully. If you do not know the cosmic laws of manifestation, how will you manifest abundance in your life? Please remember, the universe does not look at you as a human body, does not look at your brain, does not look at what you have or don't have. In fact, you might be a little disturbed to know when I tell you, the universe does not recognize your needs, your wants, your desires, and your goals. I'm repeating that again so that it becomes something that you're really knowledgeable of, because we have to remove this hurdle of lack of knowledge. The universe does not recognize you as a physical being. The universe does not recognize what you have. The universe does not even recognize your desires, your needs, your wants, your goals. Now, that might take you aback, because all this while you've lived believing that there is some higher energy up there or out there that knows what you want and is going to give it to you. Beloved friend, if that was truly the case, would we even be having this conversation? We would all be in 100% healthy state, 100% happy, and 100% successful. If that were really true, I don't need to be here giving you this gyan. But you see, this gyan has come to me dearly fought for. It's when I struggled and fell and didn't understand why I was not able to bring in the abundance that I wanted, that I looked within and searched and searched and searched till I found the answer. And this answer I'm sharing with you. The universe recognizes you only by your frequency emission. Remember the first point of lack of perspective, which we are going to do tomorrow itself. We're going to shift that. When my focus is on fear, my frequency vibration that I emit is the frequency vibration of fear. When I am angry, my frequency vibration is one of anger. When I am grieving, my frequency vibration is one of grief. When I am jealous and envious, my frequency vibration is one of envy. This is the vibration the universe recognizes. Now, when the universe recognizes a frequency vibration, the next cosmic law comes into play. The universe gives you only that frequency vibration you are in this moment, which means frequency vibration is one of fear, then only fear can come to you. If your frequency vibration is one of anger, then only anger can come to you, which means more and more and more situations come in your daily life, which make you scared, which make you angry, which make you grieve, which make you envious. If you desire abundance, whether it is abundance of health or happiness or prosperity, if you desire abundance, then it is yours and yours alone responsibility to ensure that the frequency vibration you are emitting is exactly of what you desire. Then your perspective has to change. You see how we are coming down that ladder? Perspective is changing. We are willing to change. And now we have the knowledge of why we are changing and what we are changing. We are changing our frequency vibration. My frequency vibration has to align with my desires. If there is a misalignment or there is no alignment at all, you, my beloved friend, can chant mantras and switch words and prayer and everything under the sun, but you will not get what you desire because your frequency vibration is not aligned with your desire. So you see why day one is so important, friends. When we shift that perspective, when we shift that focus, everything else falls into place. So on day three, focus on this knowledge. Through the day, be completely aware. What is my frequency vibration right now? What is my frequency vibration right now? And if you find that your frequency vibration is not in alignment with what you seek, then stop doing, stop all other activities, stop all other busyness, and change that frequency vibration. How will you do that? By shifting your focus that we discussed in the first point, lack of perspective. Then we come to day 4, where we are going to clear the fourth hurdle, and that is lack of awareness. You have the knowledge now on day 3. On day 3, you know that you are a being of vibration. The cosmos sees you as a being of vibration. And in the cosmos, like attracts like. So fear will attract fear. Happiness will attract happiness. You have that knowledge. Now, let yourself become even more aware. When you know that like attracts like, because you are a being of vibration, then you also have to become aware on day 4. You have to become aware that you are not a human being, but you are a soul having the experience of a human being. When you are aware of this, that I am actually a soul, I am just having the experience of being a human being, but I am actually a soul, then you will instantly realize that what comes to you in your life, which your brain calls good and bad, can only come to you because it is good for the evolution of your soul. So you need to have faith and trust in yourself. You need to have faith and trust in your beingness as a soul. You need to have faith and trust in this being that you call God and whom you worship. If you truly have that faith and that trust, you will never give up hope. So, lack of awareness is the hurdle that takes away from us our trust, our faith, and our hope. When we live without trust, without faith, without hope, once again, what is your frequency vibration? Your frequency vibration is one of despair, one of hopelessness, one of despondency, one of failure, one of defeat, one of resignation. By now, you already know that what your frequency vibration is what the universe shall bring to you. So live with that awareness that I am a soul. I am a God self having a human experience, and that I draw to myself only only those experiences that are good for the growth of my soul, for the evolution of my soul. Then we come to the next one: lack of being what you desire, which is very similar to the first one of lack of perspective. Lack of being what you desire. To shift your perspective is fabulous. But now, after shifting the perspective, after being willing to change, after being knowledgeable, after being aware, we now have to actually be different. Not only think differently, we have to think and feel and be different. So if I desire love and loving relationships, I have to be the kind of person who will attract love into my life. So what kind of person then must I be? I must be non-judgmental. I must be not critical. I must be compassionate. I must be kind. I must be giving. I must be open. I must be flexible. All of these will attract love into my life. But if I am constantly talking angrily, if I am insulting people, if I am shouting at my staff, if I am saying rude things about people, if I am gossiping, then I am not being the kind of person that I need to be in order to attract love into my life. So you see, the fifth hurdle is very, very important. I have to be what I desire. If I wish to be healthy, if I desire full health in my life, then come what may, come what may, I have to live like a healthy person. What does that mean? I have to stop talking about ill health. I have to stop talking about sickness and disease and illness. I have to stop focusing on my illness so that I get attention that I am seeking for. When anyone asks me, how are you? Your answer have to be, yes, I have a few challenges, but I am actually blessed that I am healthy. Make this your constant answer. Remember, to enjoy health, you have to be a healthy person. To enjoy love, you have to be a loving person. So day 5 is very, very important for you. Even as you love Ganesha, even as you pray, even as you eat all the goodies in his name, be the sweetness, be the love, be the joy, be the happiness. You see, happiness and love and joy and sweetness are not thoughts, they are not only feelings, they are states of existence. And when I live in that state of existence, only then can I draw to me what I desire. Then we come to day 6. And the 6th hurdle that we are going to eliminate on that day is lack of focus on what is important and meaningful. Now, do not get me wrong. You will say that Elle is telling me not to focus on money and not to focus on relationships. And I'm saying no such thing. In fact, what I'm saying is focus on a whole lot more money. Focus on more relationships than you believe you can handle. Focus on so much happiness that your cup is always overflowing. But don't focus on anything with greed, with doubt, with uncertainty, with fear, and with a belief that when you ask the universe for something, you are actually being very, very greedy. You are not being greedy. You are not being selfish. By getting what you desire, you are not taking away someone else's share. Please remember, this is an important thing to remember. The universe is abundant. It has far more to give than you think possible. Which means...
Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
That was manifestation.
Yes, thank you for that brief interlude.
I apologize. I was trying to see that there was a song that I needed to put across. And I was just looking at that and checking that I could. And
fabulous. So we heard the song we needed to hear.
Yes.
So let's get back to our focus on what is important and what is meaningful. So when you focus on happiness, ask yourself, why am I focusing on this? What change in my life shall be created by this focus on happiness? How shall I be able to help and serve others by this desire being fulfilled? If your focus is on prosperity and wealth, again, ask yourself, why am I focusing on this desire for prosperity and wealth? How is it going to change my life? How is it going to help me to help and serve others? This is what is the meaning on focus on what is meaningful. You are not greedy when you ask the universe for abundance beyond your imagination. You are not selfish. You are not money-minded. You could be if your focus is on, I want all of this in order to be higher up in status. I want my ego to be massaged. I want to be more powerful. I want to be in a state, in a place, in a position where I can exploit others. Then yes, you are coming from greed. You are coming from selfishness. But you know, very, very, very few of us really come from greed or selfishness. Sadly, we have been conditioned to believe that we come from greed and from selfishness when we ask for something, when we desire something. Please eliminate that conditioning. If you do not ask, the universe shall not give. The important cosmic law is ask and you shall receive. So please ask. And when you are asking, do not reside in doubt, do not reside in guilt, do not reside in shame, do not reside in hesitation. Ask with joy. It is your divine right to ask. It is your divine right to receive. Why is it your divine right to receive? Because only when your cup overflows shall you be able to share those blessings with others. And there are many, many, many who are not in a position to demand things for themselves due to whatever unfortunate circumstances they are facing in life. This is where you step in. You share your blessings with them so that you can empower them to one day demand their divine right, so they can then in turn help others. And this is how help continues. This is how compassion flows. And this is exactly how the universe helps us. And you and I, as God's self, we help others. So focus on your desire, but understand your desire. Ask yourself these three important questions. Why am I desiring this? 2, how is it going to add value to my life? And 3, how will it help me to serve another? Let me give you a small example here. I was talking about this to a client who wanted to buy a very, very expensive art. And she said, I've really been, and she used this word, she said, I've been lusting for this painting. But I just don't know if I'll ever have that kind of money to buy it. And I said, why don't you demand that from the universe? Right? It's your divine right. Ask and you shall receive. And she looked at me and she said, oh, all very well, Elle. Is the universe going to pay those crores of rupees? And I looked at her and I said, maybe you won't need to pay. Or yes, maybe the universe will pay. But why are you not asking? Why are you not exercising your divine right? So I told her about these 3 questions. She said, I can answer the first one. Why am I desiring it? I can even answer the second one. How will it add value to my life? I can't answer the third one. How will this art hanging up on my wall help me to serve others? And I looked at her and I said, every time you see that art on your wall, what will you feel? What will be your experience? And she says, my God, I will glow with joy. It will be a thrill. It will be a delight. And I said, then what will you do with that thrill? What will you do with that delight? Is that not what you will share with people? And suddenly for her, it was like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. Because she was conditioned to think that her desire for this expensive art is coming from greed. Shift that. This lack of focus on what is important and meaningful comes in the way of our manifestation. Because the universe is saying, okay, that's what you want, take it. But do you know what we do? No, 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 no. That means I'm being greedy. No, please don't give it to me. Please don't give it to me. So on the one hand, please give me switch words for this. And on the other hand, subconsciously, you're saying, I'm being greedy. I'm being selfish. Remember, when you are full, only then can you offer yourself to others. And you're not going to offer that art on your wall. but what you're going to offer is the delight you feel in you. And you want others to experience that same delight by demanding, by exercising their divine rights to whatever gives them that delight. Then we come to a very, very important day, and that's day 7, a very, very important day. And I know that day 7 is also a very big day, even as we celebrate Ganesha. And do you know why we celebrate Ganesha so exuberantly on day 7? We celebrate the love force of Ganesha on day 7. On day 7, when you wake up in the morning, don't put your feet on the floor till you have opened your eyes and acknowledged very, very emphatically, I am the force of love that is exercising its divinity on this earth plane. I am the force of love that is exercising its divinity on this earth plane. Please note, I have not used the word emotion. I have not used the word feeling. I have used the word force. Consciousness, all there is nothing else but the force of love. You and I are a part of that consciousness. So you and I are a force of love. How do we use this love to manifest what we desire? I'm going to give you a small trick. It's so simple that you might believe that this will never work. She's talking rubbish. Believe me, I would not have shared this with you today if I hadn't tried this not only regularly, but every single day. Every single day, for every single manifestation of mine. I now do not use switch words. I don't use affirmations. I don't chant. My only prayer is what I'm going to share with you. You focus all your attention, because remember, day 1 has already told us focus is what is most important, right? Where your attention goes, that is where energy flows. So that focus is very important. Focus on your desire. By now, we are on day 7. You've already learned that you must ask yourself these 3 questions. Why do I desire it? What value is it adding to my life? And how will this help me to serve others? Once you have done that, close your eyes for, not more than a minute, 2 minutes. And breathe in the force of love. Become the force of love. Remember, on day 5, we said, be what you desire. Become the force of love, and keep saying these 3 small words of prayer. I love you. There is no prayer in the world more powerful than these 3 words. When you say these 3 words, you take in the full force of consciousness, of all there is. Consciousness is nothing else but the force of love. This force of love is what sometimes we call prana, sometimes we call ki. We call it by different names, but it is the force of love. When you say these three words, I love you, what happens is you are sending like a juggernaut of this consciousness that is the force of love and enveloping your desire. Now, what happens to your frequency vibration? It instantly shifts. Remember, we learned earlier on that the universe does not see my desire, does not recognize my wants and needs, does not acknowledge my goals. What does it recognize? It recognizes my frequency vibration. I love you. Your entire frequency vibration becomes the frequency vibration of God, because God is nothing else but the power of love. When your frequency vibration is the power of God, there is nothing you cannot manifest. So how do I use this every day? In the smallest ways. For example, this morning, I was cleaning this large fridge that I have all by myself. The freezer drawers are kind of full, but I had to remove them in order to wash them. I just couldn't do it. They just wouldn't come out. They were stuck. And I knew that my fridge wasn't working too well because the ice had built up there. So I had to move them and I had to wash them. So instead of tugging and pulling, which would have served no purpose, I just stood there, put my hand on the freezer drawers and said, I love you. And I said it 3 times. I promise you that drawer moved as though it had been oiled. And it came out so smoothly, I was able to wash it and put it back completely smoothly. Why? If I had tugged and pulled, my energy vibration would have become one of frustration and anger and, oh my God, now I can't do it. With that frequency vibration, I would not have been able to manifest this. But I shifted the frequency vibration to the force of love, which is the frequency vibration of God. There is nothing that you cannot do. There is nothing that you cannot manifest. Your full belief, your full faith, your full focus is on shifting your frequency vibration to the frequency vibration of God. And you do that by saying, I love you. 3 words. No long chants, no long mantras, no sitting down for the whole day and meditating. I love you. Day 7. Through the day, do this, experience your divinity, experience the power of I love you. Remember, you are not saying it to someone. Don't get that wrong. You're not saying it to someone. You are saying, I love you, to change your frequency vibration to the force of love. So if you don't want to say, I love you, and you only want to say love, that's fine. If you want to say, I am love, that's fine. But you're shifting the frequency vibration. Come to day 8. You know, guys, it's because I have worked with so many clients over the years, I've realized one thing. Deep within us, very deep within us, and when I say us, I mean us. All of us are included in this us. Deep within us lies a very strong, firm belief that we are not supported. And this is the 8th hurdle, which we are going to eliminate on the 8th day. Lack of support. How did I become aware of this? Some years ago, when I had gone for my full body checkup, the bone density test showed me that I was going into the beginning stages of osteoporosis. I was a little upset by hearing this. I came back home and instantly I opened my Bible, the book of Louise Hay's, Heal Your Life. And I looked at it and I said, what does osteoporosis mean? Where am I coming from? Because I know that if something has manifested in my physical body, it means that it has been there in my emotional body for a very long time. And what came there, what I read there was lack of support. That took me a bit by surprise. And I said, I've never felt that I was not supported. I've had exceedingly supportive parents. I have an exceedingly supportive husband, wonderfully supportive children. My extended family is supporting me in everything that I've always done. My friends are supporting. I have never felt unsupported. But you know, I also know that sometimes these things lie so deep we do not even realize. So I sat with myself and I said, okay, Elle, you're not aware that you are feeling unsupported. But if this osteoporosis has shown itself as the beginning stages, it means that somewhere you feel unsupported. Let's address this. Let's not say, oh, this is all rubbish. This is one of those times when I was not able to find the answer very quickly as I normally do. And then one day, it was like a literal eureka moment. And I said, oh my God, this is where the answer lies. This is where the answer lies. Sometimes when things don't go my way, I feel unsupported by God, by the masters, by the universe. And I feel, why have you let me down? Why did you do this? And this was the time when I was seeking those answers. Why is manifestation not working every time? And I realized, of course, every time manifestation doesn't work, I feel unsupported. My faith shakes. I did a lot of work on myself. And the more work I did on myself, the more I began to see that this is a universal problem. In our times of stress, in our times of emotional distress, You know, the irony is we pray to God, but in our subconscious, we are thinking that God has abandoned us, that I am being punished, that no one is thinking of my happiness. All of this is so very important. So, day 8, my friends, you and I are going to, through the day, remind ourselves of how strongly we are supported. You see, when you do not expect to be supported, when you do not expect to be helped, when you do not expect that your problems will be solved, when you do not expect that your questions will be answered, my dear friends, because of your frequency vibration, you get what you expect. So important for us to remember. We always get what we expect to get. We always get what we expect to get from this moment onwards. Let us study our lives, study our situations, study our life conditions, and instead of being victims, change what we expect. You know, I have a friend of mine. Um, she smokes like a chimney. What is amazing in her is, I don't know how she has been able to do it. But genuinely, and I know that she is not making up, or she's one of the most spiritually evolved persons I know. She has not allowed herself to be conditioned by the literature and the documentaries and the so-called knowledge that smoking leads to cancer. Touch wood, she's as strong as a horse. She does not expect ill health. One day I asked her, I said, you know, Kay, all of us have some unpleasant experience with a policeman sometime or the other. You have never had. And she's always spoken about amazing experiences with policemen, even when she is in the wrong. And she looked at me and she said, Elle, I don't expect them to be bad. I expect them to be very nice. She gets what she expects. So, friends, on day 8, we are going to remove this 8th hurdle, lack of support. In what area of your life are you feeling unsupported? Who are you feeling unsupported by? In fact, sometimes the important thing is, and it certainly was true years and years and years ago in my case, I would feel no one is helping and supporting me, till I realized that the truth is, I am not allowing anyone to help and support me. So, are you asking for help? Are you asking, are you saying, I need help in this area? Please help me. Because if you're not asking for help and you are just expecting everyone to know what you want, then you're creating more disappointment for yourself. So let's understand this lack of support hurdle, and let us turn our focus to all those areas where we are supported. And on the 9th day, before we wish Ganesha au revoir for a year. He never goes anywhere. His Visarjan goes back into my heart. Right? There's lots of water in my body for Visarjan of Ganesha. And that's where he goes. Lack of definition. We tend to talk of our desires and our goals in a very generic term. What do you want? I'd like to be happy. What does that even mean? What does that mean? For me, happiness might be X. For you, happiness might be Y. Someone will say, I wish I had a more comfortable life. What does that mean? For me, desiring a more comfortable life would be a completely different desire than, let us say, for the maid who comes to work, isn't it? Levels of comfort and levels of expectation of comfort are entirely different. So define your goals, define your desires, but wait before you jump the gun and say, oh, that's easy. Not quite. My cosmic overlord, my master, has always told me, beloved, do not manifest a thing. Manifest an experience. Do not manifest a thing. A thing does not have the ability to shift your frequency vibration. An experience has the ability to shift your frequency vibration. When you manifest a thing, you are limiting yourself to prosperity and wealth. When you manifest an experience, you open yourself out to abundance of health, happiness, career, fulfillment, money, love, everything. So he always says, broaden the manifestation to an experience. Don't limit it to an object or to a person. So let me explain that to you, because that is how my manifestations work. And they've been working like this for some time now, ever since Jade Fire taught me this. So let us assume your desire is for a car. Okay? First of all, you're going to ask yourself those 3 questions. Never forget that. Why do I desire it? How will it add to my life? How will I be able to serve others? Now, in these 3 questions lies the definition. Why do I want that car? You could rephrase that question and ask it, what experience do I desire? So your experience might be the ease of getting to work, the ease of the children going to school and returning, the ease with which my family and I can go out on a Sunday and enjoy ourselves. So what you are experiencing, what you are desiring is the ease of movement. You ask for that as your manifestation, the ease of movement. Don't ask for a car. You might be wanting to manifest a Maruti car. But when you ask to experience the ease of movement, or even further, the ease of safe movement, you might be very surprised. Instead of a Maruti car, there might be a Honda at your door. So don't limit yourself to an object. You see, when your frequency vibrations change according to your desire for an experience, then that frequency vibration will draw to itself the perfect object. In fact, sometimes it's an object you never even dreamed about. So do not limit yourself, do not limit your definition to an object. In fact, manifest an experience. What do I wish to experience through this? And manifest that experience. And with these 9 days, you will have cleared these 9 hurdles partially. And then, after saying a warm farewell to your beloved Ganesha, you start with day 1 all over again. And till the next year, till Ganesha returns into your home and into your hearts, and he's, of course, he's never gone from your hearts, so into your homes, every 9 days, start this cycle anew, clearing the hurdles that stand in the way of your abundance. And I can promise you that 2021, you shall be in a state of abundance that today you might not even believe, or you might not even imagine you can enjoy. Every 9 days, a new cycle of clearance. And of course, remember, every time you want something big or small, the 3 important words, I love you. Thank you all. I'm open to questions if there are, or if Anu needs to bring in Aarti, I can see her there, or Binaifer.
Let's take in some questions before we go. But before we go for questions, I have a special guest here, Kirti Bakshi, who needs to make an announcement. So
Sure.
Kirti, I'm just going to go off the Facebook just for a minute because she doesn't want this going on the Facebook. So I'll stop the live stream just for a minute. And Kirti, you can announce. By then, search out for the song that I was searching for before. Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Anu, for giving me this opportunity. Hello, everyone. And the lovely talk I heard was very inspiring. So I'd start my Ganesha initiation tomorrow. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Kirti.
Yeah, so friends, I'm just here with a small little request. I'm a psychotherapist. I am in this field from 20 years. I've been working with diverse section of people. And I have been seeing a lot of people during Corona come down with practical problems and, feeling helpless, feeling really down and anxiety and everything. So I've been fairly able to give them a ray of hope or make them look into the future or trust everything. But I received a call a couple of days back from a person who was totally devastated because his 2 brothers have got like they're basically into tailoring business, and the business shut down due to Corona, and they have this huge loan on their head, and they have 5 children together who are not going to school, and he is totally completely devastated, nervous breakdown, so was not able to explain his condition. So his wife actually called me to ask me, Didi, you are in this work, so you would know what's happening to him. And I told them that this looks like a breakdown and he might need a psychiatric help. To which she said, we don't have the money to do that. And that was extremely shattering for me. So I helped him out with the psychiatrist and the prescriptions and all. But the troubles are even more graver. There's water in the house, and it's like a situation where the person is developing suicidal tendencies. So I sent out a helpline, which is, I thought I'd do a small fundraiser for him, which I do once in a year. for anyone that I feel is genuinely in need. And so I'm here today to request you all to help this little fundraiser. And with whatever we can in our own little ways, I started it day before yesterday and have managed to raise around 70,000 rupees for him.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, and but his needs are a little more since there's 5 children's school fees and everything to go. So I thought if I could get, people to just 200 people at 2,500, I'd be able to fulfill most of his help. So I will share the details with you all. I have myself pitched in for 6 people, which means I have taken up six 2,500 uh, donations myself. So if you all could kind of help us and forward the message, and whoever, like, I understand it's Corona time, we are all tight on money, we're all tight on liquid cash, but just in case we could reach out to someone else who can, also it would be, but not on Facebook, simply because his kids are on the Facebook, and you know how children react
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
all of this. So a plea for help, and please join me. And I thought I could reach out to Anu because I know how humble she is, and she would definitely, be stirred and help me out with something. So it's just a noble cause that I committed myself to, and I look forward to help and support. If possible, please do support the cause. I will send all details on this group WhatsApp, and whatever little we can do, let's start. Tomorrow being the Ganpati festival, let's start
Definitely.
our little contributions go a long way, because
So do we have to do this as